Hey everyone, welcome to Week 9 NFL Power Rankings. We want to continue the roll we've been on, so let's jump right in at the bottom of the rankings. It has to be none other than the Tennessee Titans. So the Titans are 1-6, starting Mason Rudolph in their last game. They just got blown off the planet by the Lions, which, if you saw the predictions, we told you was going to happen, but it didn't take a rocket science to figure that out. They traded away probably their best weapon in D-Hop, even though he's up in age. Will Levis was bad. Mason Rudolph is worse. There's just really not very many bright spots on this team at all, and hence why they're at the bottom of the power rankings. At 31, we have a familiar face. It's the Carolina Panthers. Sure, when the first start of Andy Dalton, they had a little bit of a spark, but this team is 1-7. I think that's the worst record in the league. Not very good at anywhere, and Bryce Young is starting again, which was probably the biggest problem to begin with. So the future is not looking bright for a Panthers team that has a pretty weak defense and Bryce Young leading an inept offense. At 30 is the Jets. I feel like they shouldn't be this low, but they just keep making mistakes, and they did lose to the Patriots, so we have to put them here for now. I do feel like this is a team that'll bounce back a little beyond here. But if you've looked at the rankings, we've had them in the, 20s pretty much the whole season. So not a team we were expecting Super Bowl from, but definitely not expecting the 30th best team. At 29 is those New England Patriots. Drake May shows flashes. That's got to give some excitement for Patriots fans. They just traded away another pass rusher. I know they're building for the future, and that's part of the rebuild. But it's tough when you're a bad team getting rid of good pieces. The Patriots are still a little bit stagnant on offense, but they did enough to pull out the win against the Jets. And the defense and the play calling has been smart from the team so far. At number 28, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Funny, all of a sudden I'm not getting comments about I have the Raiders too low because people see this as an abysmal team. The team is 2-6. Their quarterback play is not great. The offensive line play is not great. And Max Crosby is the one big star on the defense, which unfortunately they're not willing to trade, and rightfully so. Next up at number 27 is the New York Giants. I do feel like this is too low for the Giants, but again, they are 2-6. Daniel Jones is a little too cold in his hot and cold motion. The team's offensive line is doing a little bit better, at least on the run blocking side, but it's still not great. And it's unfortunate that such a good defensive line goes to waste on a team that's otherwise not so special. At number 26 is the New Orleans Saints. Maybe they should be lower. They're on a 6-game losing streak. It's clear what impact Carr makes to this team because with him out, the offense has not been able to do a whole lot at all. We told you in our best bet multiple units, the Chargers-Saints game last week was going to be under, and the Saints performed as expected. At number 25 is Cleveland. Again, this is probably a bit high for them, but this is based on Winston's start. We told you Winston was probably the best quarterback on that roster. It made no sense he was third string, but we definitely didn't expect the performance he had. More to follow on this team, but again, they are 2-6. At number 24 is the Cincinnati Bengals. This team we thought might have a chance to slide into the playoffs with the weak schedule upcoming, but they got blown out by the Eagles, and it just is what it is. I think people have overrated Cincinnati. They've played good in big moments, but this defense isn't the same as other ones, and the offense, well, you can see flashes of talent, just hasn't done enough. At 23 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, a team that's underperforming in my opinion. And I think the key to it is Trevor Lawrence. People just think he's better than he is. And I think that's going to hold this team back into the future as well. At 22 is Miami. They did lose their game, but the offense does look a lot better with Tua in fold. This is just another reminder that quarterbacks make difference. People want to crush Tua, but you've seen this team without him. It's one of the worst teams in the league without him. Maybe they can get rolling and have a decent season, but I know they got Buffalo coming up, and that's another L, so it's going to be a tough year for the Dolphins. At 21 is the Dallas Cowboys. We told you to bet them under their win total this year. And if you did, you're probably feeling pretty happy right now as the team's 3-4 with not a lot of direction. The problem is people just look at the playmakers and they haven't seen how that offensive line has deteriorated over the years. Now, I didn't see the fall coming so hard so fast, but with the injuries added in and a tough schedule ahead, it's going to be a hard road for Cowboy fan. Into the top 20, we have Seattle. This is a tricky team. I think with explosive players like DK Metcalf, a strong running game, and some playmakers on defense, this is a team that can get up and play with everyone, but just doesn't have the consistency to continue to make plays to score enough, and there's still too many questions on defense for the Seahawks. At 19, we got the LA Chargers. It's probably too low. They're 4-3. They got a strong defense. I'm just not a fan of their offense, and that's going to just continue to have me not having too much faith in the Chargers. At number 18, we got the LA Rams. I know this is way higher than anybody else has them, but they're getting a lot of their pieces back. And as said, this wasn't a bad team. This was an injured team. There's a difference. At 17 is Arizona. They're 4-4 under the radar. This team has some talent, and they can give anyone a run for their money. At 16 is the Colts. I feel like this is too high, but if AR's not playing, they're pretty good. They got a strong offensive line. They can run the ball. The defense is adequate. The problem is the quarterback that they drafted. Everyone knew this was a high potential pick, and that's the problem with potential. They have to figure it out. And right now, Richardson is worse than people think. At 15 is the Bucks. I think this is a team that can bounce back and jump up the rankings when healthy. They've proven to have a pretty explosive offense and a strong run defense as well. At 14 is Denver. I feel uncomfortable with them this high, but they've been performing, and Coach Payton knows how to maximize the talent of his team. At 13 is the Bears. They did lose, but we didn't drop them. They played Washington as tough as they could. It came down to the last play. The problem is the Bears are going to continue to have problems with teams that can rush the passer because the offensive line just isn't good enough to give Caleb time. At 12 is Atlanta. They bounced back and won an important game. They're 5-3, and the division is theirs for the taking. At number 11 is Philadelphia. It's a simple game plan for the Eagles. Hand the ball off to Barkley. Let Hurts make plays when he needs to off of play action. This is a team that plays a lot better from ahead. At 10 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And another one where I'm not hearing the people come back at me with all the Justin Fields stuff. You can just look at the offense. It's clearly better under Russell Wilson. Although the offense still isn't great, the defense is, and this is going to be a tough out when anybody plays the Steelers. At number 9 is the 49ers. We didn't bump them up because we already had them pretty high. I mean, we had them at 9 as a sub 500 team, and they're 4-4 now. But they just kind of prove why we have faith in them. This is going to be a tough team when they get to full strength. At number 8 is Buffalo. They're 6-2. The offense is nice. The rest of it's kind of a question mark. So we're still holding out hope on Buffalo, but we know they're going to pick up some easy wins in the soft division they play in. At number 7 is the Houston Texans. Again, 6-2. They don't do very well covering, however. And although the team has some playmakers, they have a hard time being consistent. I think the key to that is the ability to run the ball with Mixon because he's played great when healthy. At 6 is Minnesota. It feels a little low, but they are coming off a 2-game losing streak, including to the Rams. Again, Sam Darnold's come to earth a little bit, but they do have a good offensive line. They have Justin Jefferson. They need to maintain that pressure on defense, though, because that's what was winning them a lot of games. At 5 is the Washington Commanders. And although they needed the Hail Mary to squeak out the win against the Bears, they really did outplay them. They just kind of settled for a lot of short field goals, which made the difference in the game. And they're going to have to learn that to be a little more aggressive, I think. Because the play calling and the way they do things, they actually set themselves up for a lot of short field goals in general. At number 4 is Baltimore. I know they're 5-3, but again, this is a team I just trust against anybody. At 3 is Green Bay. It feels a little bit high, but they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Doesn't matter who's at quarterback. They got young, athletic wide receivers. They can run the ball, and they got playmakers on defense. And again, their signing at safety and free agency has been key for them so far. Now a little change up at the top as we get in the Tier 1 teams. Number 2 is Kansas City. I know it's tough. They're undefeated. And Kansas City's always going to be a tough team to beat. And they're always going to be favored. But the number 1 team, Detroit, has just been electric. They dropped 50 plus this week. They dropped almost 50 the week before. The offense is clicking. The defense is making timely plays. And Detroit just looks like the best team on the field. So that's how I got everyone racked and stacked this week. If you look at the last 3 weeks, we've slaughtered the bets. So something's working right. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thanks for watching.